Breaking news tonight, police shot and killed the former acting New Bedford fire chief at the Bayside Lounge in Fairhaven tonight. The DA says police returned fire after Paul Kader shot at officers, hitting one in the leg. Kader was fired in 2022 after the mayor said he took advantage of the taxpayers by abusing department injury leave policy. The officer shot was treated at the hospital and released tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight at 11. I'm Alyssa Azara. New Bedford's mayor says tonight's deadly shooting is tragic in every sense. ABC 6 News reporter Josh Kerman is in Fairhaven tonight and joins us live at the scene where he heard from a witness. Josh.
Alyssa, it's been an incredibly active scene here in Fairhaven for much of the night and continues to be, as you can see behind me, police still here looking to interview all the individuals still inside the Bayside Lounge. Now, the Bristol District Attorney speaking earlier with us, giving us some insight into what turned a drunken altercation into the scene we've seen here. Bristol County DA Thomas Quinn confirming the former New Bedford Deputy Fire Chief was in fact the suspect of tonight's officer-involved shooting. It happened around 5 o'clock, and a Cushioned officer was shot in the leg, taken to the hospital, and has since been released, saying he's in good spirits. Dozens of officers from across the area remain on scene, and community members are shaken following the first incident like this that many have seen.
This is the dangers that people face. It seems that more and more there are these lethal situations that police are confronted with. There's so many guns out on the street now, and that's what they don't know what they're walking into when they report to these calls.
It's a very popular area around here, so I was very surprised to hear anything actually unfolded here, so yeah, it was just really wild here, especially like this area. This is a very nice area. We have we're part of the Cape. It's super nice, so to hear something like this is really crazy and out of the ordinary, especially in Fairhaven. It's such a quiet town,
According to Quinn, the incident happened just outside of the lounge where Kader was intoxicated and attempting to get in his car. The DA says officers attempted to use non-lethal options, including a taser, before Kader fired his weapon, and officers responded with deadly force. Quinn says tonight's incident is still under investigation, but there is still that good news. The officer who was shot and taken to the hospital was released earlier tonight. He is in good spirits. This investigation is still underway, and we'll have any updates on this as those become available. For now, in Fairhaven, Josh Kerman, ABC 6 News.
Josh, thank you. While Josh was covering this breaking news story in Fairhaven, he was posting to our Now Local News app. You can see some of that video behind me. To keep up to date with our continuing coverage of the deadly shooting in Fairhaven, download the app by searching for Now Local News in your app store. We'll also post updates to abc6.com. Meanwhile, more breaking news on 11 at 11. One person was killed in a crash on Route 140 in New Bedford. It happened around 5 o'clock on the southbound side of 140 near the Kings Highway exit. State police are not identifying the victim yet. The road was reopened after closing earlier while police investigated. Meanwhile, the third woman in a car hit by an accused drunk driver in Somerset died at the hospital today. 68-year-old Donna Arruda of Seekonk died at Rhode Island Hospital. Arruda was in the car with her husband, Floriano, and her 15-year-old grandson, Jacoby, when they were hit by a wrong-way driver on the Veterans Memorial Bridge. It happened just after 11 o'clock Christmas night. 41-year-old Adam Gother will now face an additional charge of motor vehicle homicide. Turning now to developing news on 11 at 11. Woonsocket police are investigating a stabbing that led to a rollover crash. Police tell us it all started on the North Smithfield line at the Ocean State job lot. A man was stabbed there and the suspect then led police on a car chase. The suspect's car was hit by another car at the corner of Providence and Blue Streets, causing his car to roll over. The suspect is hurt and was taken to the hospital. The two women have minor injuries. The man stabbed at the job lot had minor wounds and was also taken to the hospital. Police haven't identified any of the people involved tonight. Well, the driver who crashed a van into the YMCA in Foxborough now faces a negligent driving charge. Foxborough police say the 51-year-old driver, who they did not identify, is from Rhode Island. The van drove through an existing safety barrier and directly into the YMCA Children's Center, where 5 young kids were being supervised by staff members. 4 of the kids were taken to the hospital. All of them are under 5 years old. None of the injuries are life-threatening. A magistrate will determine if probable cause exists for the charge. Now to an ABC6 News follow-up tonight. Republicans in Maine are considering impeachment proceedings against the Secretary of State there. Democrat Shenna Bellows ruled former President Donald Trump should be removed from the state's primary ballot. In her decision yesterday, Bellows said Trump violated the Constitution's insurrection clause. That's a Civil War-era provision in the Constitution, preventing anyone who engaged in insurrection from holding office.
My political affiliation and my personal views of January 6th have no bearing on this case. My decision was based on what was presented in that hearing and the testimony and the exhibits.
The Trump campaign vowed to appeal the decision to the Maine courts. Bellows says she will suspend her decision pending a court ruling. I asked Rhode Island Secretary of State Greg Amore if this could happen in Rhode Island, and he says, unlike in Maine, he doesn't have that power under state law.
We've had a number of inquiries to our office throughout the period of time that this has become a front page story, so to speak. And our answer has been the same. If the former president gathers enough signatures and qualifies in all other ways, then according to Rhode Island law, we'll place him on the ballot unless the Supreme Court tells us not to.
The Maine decision followed a Colorado Supreme Court ruling to keep Trump off the ballot in that state based on the same insurrection clause in the Constitution. The matter is expected to eventually end up at the U.S. Supreme Court. All right, let's get a check on the forecast now. Meteorologist Kelly Bates joins us live in the Weather Center. Kelly, good evening.
Hey, good evening to you, my friend. We have a really interesting sky out there tonight. In fact, we can see we don't have that thick, dense fog, at least in the Providence area, that we've been dealing with, well, it seems night after night after night. So right now here, downtown, we do have clouds in the upper levels. It's listed at mostly cloudy, but we have a temperature of 45 degrees. Our dew point is also at 45. That gives us a relative humidity of 100%, which means it is moist out there enough to give us some fog. And yeah, we do have some patches of it. It's just simply not as dense as it has been this past several nights. And you know what? There is a mechanism of change on the way. It's a cold front that'll be coming through as we go overnight into tomorrow. It is currently working its way through northern New York State and also northern New England. That is going to be coming through. It's going to give us some clouds and a chance of showers too as we go overnight through tomorrow morning. In fact, we are already tracking some showers working their way across the great state of Connecticut. So here's what we've got. Mostly cloudy skies as we go through the overnight. We will see the sun. It just may be kind of limited. And again, that chance of showers that will be with us through, say, about 2 p.m. After that, we're going to dry out. And as we head into the weekend, we're looking for one day to be much better than the other. And I'll let you know what the new year will bring as well, coming up in just a couple of minutes. Alyssa?
All right, Kelly, thank you. New tonight, a new homeless shelter is now open for women and children in Providence. The Open Door Shelter is on Elmwood Ave. It will house 12 homeless families. A spokesperson says some families moved in last week. The Rhode Island Department of Housing will fund the shelter for 5 months.
I think this is the first time I've been able to be a mom again in 3 months, to be able to hang out with my children and not focus on what they need and how we're surviving that day, to be able to schedule their haircuts and not wonder if I'm going to have the money to do so.
Staff at Open Doors tells us they are still working on expanding the space, hoping to add a 13th room, a new playroom, and a library in the new year. Checking some weekend headlines now. Ferry shuttles in Bristol won't be running tomorrow. The ferry to Providence is running. You just won't be able to take the shuttle from Colt State Park. RIDOT says normal shuttle service will resume Sunday, but there is no ferry service at all on New Year's Day. In the first week, 1,400 passengers used the ferry, which started to help commuters avoid Washington Bridge traffic. Construction efforts are ongoing on the westbound side of the bridge. Providence is ready to kick off its annual New Year's Eve celebrations. The Providence Tourism Council and the city are bringing back a free event at the pedestrian bridge. Alexis Gorieron, the chair and commissioner of Providence Tourism Council, says the New Year's Eve fun starts Sunday at 195 District Park at 5 p.m.
The New Year's Eve celebration is an opportunity to bring the community together, celebrate the arts. We're going to have live entertainment and food, everything that's kind of quintessential of the city of Providence. But it does provide an opportunity for folks to come and get an early start to celebrate the new year in the creative capital and then enjoy all the many offerings and events that are happening throughout the city.
Some of the entertainment and vendors include
We have the Providence Drum Troupe that will be performing. We have Big Nazo with their famous puppets that they'll be roaming throughout the festival site. And then we have some food trucks. We have Amon Pizza and a couple other culinary offerings here in our city.
The events span across the city, with a water fire lighting illuminating the night at the pedestrian bridge, starting at 7 o'clock sharp. Then at 8 o'clock, a fireworks show over the Providence River.
It has been over 10 plus years that the city has hosted fireworks, and so we're excited to bring that back. We're going to be shooting them right here on the Providence River, and then complemented by the water fire lighting on the pedestrian bridge.
Gorieron says it's a free, safe, and family-friendly event that's sure to ring in the new year in style. And as we take a live look at Times Square, all set for the celebrations, just a reminder, you can watch the ball drop live right here on ABC6 News. Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest will start Sunday night at 10:30, right after a special early edition of ABC6 News. And we'd like to see how you are ringing in the new year. You can share your celebrations with us through our Now Local News app. You earn your videos can earn you points, which you can exchange for gift cards and other prizes. We may even show your videos on TV. To download, just scan the QR code on your screen right now. Still to come tonight at 11, the Red Sox finally make a splash on the free agent market. Ian's got the details on the new pitcher reportedly joining Boston's rotation. And we continue to follow breaking news out of Fairhaven tonight, where the former acting New Bedford fire chief was shot and killed after opening fire on police officers. We can tell you the Acushnet police officer shot was treated and released at the local hospital tonight. We'll continue to follow this story and post updates to abc6.com and our Now Local News app.